Hola, Lucas y Arabella. ¿Cómo están? Bueno, vamos a empezar capítulo 6b. Y si se acuerdan, ¿qué es el tema de 6? El tema de 6. La televisión y el cine. La televisión y el cine. What does that mean? Yeah, I know y'all get the television, but what's el cine? Yes, the theater, the movie theater. And if you remember, we saw 6A. ¿Y cómo se llama 6A? ¿Qué es el nombre del capítulo 6A? ¿Viste el partido en la televisión? Which means what? Did you see the game on TV? And we had vocabulary all about games, scores, ties, winning, losing, fanatics, and game shows and all that. But now we're going to start 6B. Y 6B, el título es ¿Qué película has visto? ¿Qué película has visto? And this translates, I hope you've been getting started and you're working on those flashcards, or I hope you have them done and you're memorizing the vocabulary for 6B. What's película? Movie. So what is ¿Qué película has visto? What movie have you seen? So in this chapter, we're learning vocabulary so that we can talk about a movie, who was in it, who the director was, if it was good, if it was terrible, if we recommend it. And you guys have a project to do. And your project is going to be to give a synopsis, to critique a movie. Any movie that you choose. It could be from way back when, it could be recent, or you can even make up a movie if you'd like. But you're going to write up a critique. And you'll see in the printout in the assignment sheet what you need to include in that. And you're going to bring it in written up, because you're going to turn it in. But I also want you to make a poster of your movie, okay? And you'll have things that you need to include on the poster, and that's in the assignment sheet also. And this is not going to be due until April 12th. And we'll talk about this when we get together on the 29th next week when we come back. But let's go ahead and let's get started con el vocabulario. O sea que abren sus libros a la página 342. 342. And follow along. You have what it is in English right there to the right. I'm going to say them 2 times. First time, listen. Second time, repeat with me. Because the purpose of this is for you to work on your pronunciation. So, ¿listos? Bueno, 6B vocabulario. We're going to first look at words to talk about movies. Alquilar. Alquilar. And I know today we don't use, they still exist, but we don't use blockbusters anymore, stuff like that. Now we do what? Streaming. We stream. So, but we still rent on, it's just done online instead of going to a box. So, alquilar. Voy a alquilar una película. I am going to rent a movie. Some movies are del amor. El amor. Arrestar, arrestar. Capturar, capturar. El crimen, el crimen. So el crimen is the crime. El criminal o la criminal is the criminal. ¿Tú eres un criminal? You better not be. El critico or la critica. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that right. El crítico or la crítica. El crítico, la crítica. El detective, la detective. El detective, la detective. Enamorarse de. Enamorarse de. And enamorarse de is to fall in love with. So, ay, él se enamoró de su amiga. He fell in love with his friend. La estrella is just the star, but la estrella del cine is the movie star, how we say movie star in English. Del cine means of the movie. La estrella del cine. El extraterrestre, el extraterrestre, la extraterrestre, la extraterrestre. And I hope you guys all know E.T. there. Fascinar, fascinar. You might say, me fascinó la película E.T. I was fascinated. The movie E.T. fascinated me. El fracaso, el fracaso. This is the failure. So, hoy, esa película fracasó or es un fracaso. So the movie failed or the movie is a failure. El galán, el galán. So do y'all know who he is? I'm going to ask y'all next class. Let's see if y'all know who el galán is. He visto, he visto. And this is a tense we're going to be learning, a new tense in this chapter. He visto la película Titanic. I have seen the movie Titanic. ¿Has visto una película esta semana? Have you seen a movie this week? El ladrón, la ladrona, el ladrón, la ladrona. Matar, matar. La película de acción, la película de acción. ¿Te gustan las películas de acción? Do you like action movies of action movies? ¿Qué tal es? ¿Qué tal es? How is it? ¿Qué tal es la serie de Outlasting? Recomendar, recomendar. And you'll use this word in your project because you need to, at the end, either recommend this movie or not recommend it. So, yo recomiendo esta película a todos de todas edades. You know, I recommend this movie to everyone of all ages. Or no recomiendo esa película. Robar, robar. Será, será. Tener éxito, tener éxito. La película Rocky tuvo mucho éxito, pero la película Rocky 5 fue un fracaso. So I said, the movie Rocky had lots of success, but Rocky 5 was a failure. Tratarse de, tratarse de. So you might say, oh, la película Titánica, I don't know, Titánico, se trata de un barco que se hunde en el mar. The movie Titanic is about a ship that sinks in the sea. La víctima, la víctima, la violencia, la violencia. And now to talk about making movies. La actuación, la actuación, el argumento, el argumento. You'll include this in your project also, the plot. That's, you need to give me the plot. El argumento se trata de, the plot is about, da 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 da. La dirección, la dirección. El director, la directora. El director, la directora. You're going to need to give me who the director was in your project. Los efectos especiales. Los efectos especiales. So if you give me if you're going to be talking about a movie that's science fiction, maybe you can tell me a little bit about los efectos especiales. La escena, la escena. In your report, you might tell me, oh, mi escena favorita en esta película es, my favorite scene in this movie was, or is, da 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 da. Estar basado en, estar basado en, to be based upon, to be based on. So if it's based on a true story, la película está basada en una historia verdadera de la vida real. El papel, hacer el papel de, hacer el papel de. So el papel is just the role, but then you might say, oh, Brad Pitt hizo el papel de un general. Brad Pitt had the role of a general. Personaje principal. Personaje principal. That you will also include. Who's the main character? And then lastly, no todavía. A useful word. Someone might ask you, oh, ¿has visto la película Iron Man? And if you haven't seen it, you'll say, no todavía, o no la he visto todavía. All right, that's your vocabulary. You guys repeat, and repeat it, and make sure that you are ready to go over and maybe have a game on this when we come back. But I'm going to send out other videos with the grammar rules. Bueno, hasta luego, chicos.